Hello and welcome to Quick Tip 56, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at the positions provider, and you see I have a simple program applied to RadarScreen at the moment showing the quantity and various other bits of information, and we'll see where we can see what the information is that is available later on. So I'm just going to buy some shares in Kellogg, and you'll see there that the number of shares in Kellogg has increased accordingly. So what we're going to do, look at the program, and here we are in the development environment. What we do is we drag the positions provider down into the component tray. With that selected, go to properties. I've got the real-time set to true, time zone local, loading true, and then for the account I've got get account ID. And then for symbol, I've just typed in symbol. That will get whichever symbol is on a specific line in RadarScreen. And then we're checking that we actually have at least one value in the positions provider, because then we're going to be calling that using positions prov, the name we gave it, dot position, then 0 in square brackets, and then various bits of information. And if we go to the designer generated code and we right click on positions provider and then choose definition, you'll see here we have some TradeStation information. If you scroll down to the bottom of that, you'll see that there is also a TradeStation demonstration program that you can install on your system, and that is well worth looking at. Going back to the program, you'll see if you put a space in there, if you're using TradeStation 10 by the way, then put in a period. Rather, to do this you need to enable autocomplete. Put in a period and you'll see all the different options that you have that you can use. So you can experiment with those values or those options. So just go back to the symbol, and what I've also done is, in order to demonstrate why we're using the 0 in that position, is we can make a simple change to the symbol. And we can put in actually symbol names. So what I'm going to do is put quotes. I'm just going to put in IBM and then comma and then Citigroup, close the quotes, and then go back to the program, and I'm just going to uncomment this line here. And what this is doing is checking that the count is greater than 1, and then looking at the positions provided dot position and then the 1 in square brackets. So we've now got the program 0 in square brackets for most of it, 1 in square brackets. And now you'll see that slightly curious, because it's all for IBM. Well, the reason for that is, rather than calling the symbol of the specific line, we're basically calling the program just two symbols, IBM and Citigroup. And we're using most of the information for IBM, but we're also calling what is the symbol for the value that is in the index position 1. The color of that is not very good, so what I'm going to do is just right click and go to studies and change that for the studies into something a little darker than the foreground color, to white. Say OK, and now you can see indeed that the symbol for the second symbol is actually C for Citigroup. So if you just study the program for a second, you'll see that when we're using 0, that's now for IBM, and when we're using 1, that is for Citigroup in this particular case, since we've just got those two symbols loaded. But the syntax for the position doesn't have to be just a number, an index. What you can also do is use the symbol name. In other words, in this case we've got C in quotes, and then the account name. And then we just treat that similarly to how we treated the 0, in other words, dot quantity. And if we go to that, you'll see there we've got quantities for C. In other words, in this case, minus 50. So I'm just going to re-comment those out and change the program back to symbol, which is actually more useful, because it's really not very useful in this particular case to have just those two symbols. So please subscribe to markplex.com, and if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I hope you found this useful.